Renewables like wind and solar are actually fairly cheap per unit of energy produced, like kilowatt hour or megawatt hour, but they are actually really hard to run a grid on. They're best used for small local things like a single building, like a house, versus trying to supply a whole energy grid. And the reason for that is actually quite intuitive and easy to understand when you understand that a power grid is a balancing act between the power draw and the power going and the electricity going into it. If there's an imbalance either way, either demand is higher than input or input is higher than demand, it causes it to fail, and the grid can and think electrical appliances and electrical systems all over the grid can be damaged. So the grid will shut down to protect itself, or parts of it will shut down. And that balancing act is a lot easier when you can control or predict the input and the output. You can, for traditional methods of producing energy like gas turbines, it's really easy to scale that up, to control it, and to predict it. But for wind and solar, where it's dependent on weather, you can't control it, and it's not exactly the most predictable thing either. So that's why it's really hard to run a grid on wind and solar, even though the energy is cheaper because you're not paying for fuel. And so now you understand why renewables really aren't the best option for running a grid, but are a good option and probably should be adopted more widely on structures like homes and buildings